Hi there everybody, it's Monday the 9th of July and it's Jackie here from Stampingjack.com and welcome to this week's Facebook Live. Just wait for a couple of seconds for everybody to come on. As you come on, just say hello in the comments below so I know you're here, and let me just check the settings. Oh, so how is everybody today? It is hot, hot, hot here in the UK still. I think it got up to something like 33 degrees Celsius this weekend. It was just, I love the heat, I really do, but even 33 degrees is getting a little bit hot for my liking. It's fine if all you've got to do is sit around, drinking iced tea or drinks and relaxing. But when you've got to be driving and working and all the rest of it, it's a little bit different. But I'm not complaining. It would be really nice to have a long hot summer here in the UK. It's a bit cooler here this evening, and let me just see, are we working? Yeah, so yeah, it's a bit cooler here this evening, but I think the heat is playing havoc with the old technology here because my Wi-Fi signal seems to be a little bit twitchy this evening. I've lost it a couple of times already, so we'll just have to keep an eye on that and see how we go. So let's have a look. Let's see. How are we doing? Let me see comments. Right. Okay. Hi Carmen, welcome. 31 degrees, wow. Yeah, I know what you mean about humidity. Thankfully, it's been reasonably dry heat up till now, so it's been pretty good. But as I say, just, I craft in my conservatory, so hi Jenny, I'm basically crafting in a greenhouse. So I've had the doors and windows open to try and get some of the heat out, but it's still hot this evening, so it's pretty hot. So no cup of tea this evening like I normally have with me. I've got an iced drink on the side. So this week I've got a little bit of a different for you this week. This week I'm going to make 13 cards, not the usual 4. And before you think, oh my God, she's going to be on here for hours, they're not all. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a one-sheet wonder. And for those of you who haven't heard of it before, bonjour Florence. For those of you who haven't heard of it before, a one-sheet wonder is basically a way to cut up a sheet of 12 by 12 paper to make as many cards or a large number of cards as you can. So I've designed a template which I'm going to go through with you today, and I thought it would be perfect to do this because of course we've got our designer series paper sale going on this month. So when you buy 3 packs of designer series paper, you get to choose a 4th one for free. So what better excuse to get working and get using and cutting up that beautiful designer series paper that we love. I'm as guilty as everybody else of not cutting up my paper because it's just too pretty. But I've resolved that I will stop doing that. And in fact, at the weekend, in preparing this and designing the template, obviously I ended up with a lot of cards. So I finished those off at the weekend and I gave them to my son, who's just about to finish up for this year at school. So he's taken them all away to school to give to his teachers to say thank you. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. But before we do, I need to give out some prizes for last week. So as you know, every week, if you share my video, you get entered into a prize draw. So if you haven't done so already, please share this video. I'd love it if you would. And let me know that you have, and you'll be entered into the draw. So last week, the prize for this week was this pack of gorgeous buttons in beautiful. So we've got Calypso Coral, Bermuda Bay, Daffodil Delight, and some clear ones. These are so pretty. And so the winner for last week's draw is, who have we got? Doreen. Thanks, Jenny. Well done, Doreen. Congratulations. So these are yours, and I will get them in the post to you. I've got lots of thank yous going out for last month's orders and stuff, so I think a big trip to the post office tomorrow will be in order. So for this week, the prize is a gold Wink of Stella pen. So we love our Wink of Stella, particularly the clear Wink of Stella, but I've got this gold one to share with you. So in order to earn this, all you've got to do is share this video, share it far and wide, so that we can all enter and have fun and a chance to win the prize. So that's that. And then before we get on to the crafting, just one more thing is to remind you of the other offer that's happening this month, which is the fantastic offer to sign up as a demonstrator. I'm always open and looking for new members of my team, whether you're, a hobby demonstrator, or you want to do it as a business, or you just want to sign up to get the deal. You're all welcome here. We meet up regularly and we keep in contact, and I'm here to support you as much or as little as you need. But this month, for July only, when you sign up to be a demonstrator, you get the usual great deal if you get to choose £130 worth of goodies for £99, which is great. But on top of that, you get to choose 10 ink pads for free. That's 10 ink pads. It's just, I think it's worth something like £66 or something like that. It's just insane. So it's a brilliant, brilliant deal. And it's a fantastic way to just really boost your colour collection, because, of course, you've got so many beautiful colours. So, yeah, that's that. But now let's get on with the crafting, okay? So as I mentioned, I'm going to do this week a one sheet wonder. So I've got a sheet of 12 by 12 cardstock here. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I can move my camera up a little. There we go. And let's see. So basically all I've done is I've measured out various dimensions on my piece of 12 by 12 cardstock, and I will post a photograph of this on my blog, so you can take a copy of it and use it yourself. Okay, now what I've done is I've drawn it out here just so I can show you, but I wouldn't recommend drawing it out on your piece of paper. I tried doing it that way and I just ended up with pencil marks everywhere, and it wasn't quite as accurate as I wanted, and measuring a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock can be a bit tricky. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you the cuts that you need to make and the order in which you need to make them, and then we're just going to assemble our cards. It's really quite easy once you get your head around it, and if you've got a template to start with, that helps. So this is one I've made up, and it makes us 4, 8, 12, no, 4, 6, 8. It makes 13 cards. Some accountant I am, right? Never mind. It's been a long day. Okay, so that's the template, and I'm going to use a piece of this paper is from the Twinkle Twinkle Designer Series paper stack. So if I bring out the rest of it, we've got some gorgeous designs on here, all very soft colours. It's kind of like baby. It's in the baby sort of section, but you can see that these patterns here really, not limited to baby at all. And I love the combination of the soft sea foam and the pink and the balmy blue and the navy and the grey. I mean, look at that. It'd be gorgeous for a men's card. Okay. And then we've got this piece which we're using, and that's the back of it. And then we've got the stitched one and the back of that. So the colours in these is just absolutely beautiful. So let me just double check the colours in here for you. If you don't already know, on the back of all of our Designer Series paper packs, it tells us the colours that we've got. So we've got Grey Granite, Night of Navy, Petal Pink, Pool Party, Soft Sea Foam and Whisper White. Really, really super pretty. So we're going to use this piece here, and I'm going to use these cute little dots. Now what I would say to you is when choosing your piece of paper to use, is it's best not to use a pattern that has a direction, because sometimes depending on how you turn or cut your card, the pattern might appear to be upside down or whatever. So for example, if we were to choose this stripe, it might not work quite so well, or if you had a pattern where flowers were pointing a particular way or something. So try and choose a pattern that doesn't matter which way round you turn it. Okay, so let's get started. This is the tricky bit. Okay, so I've got my paper here, and then I'm just going to bring in my trimmer. Okay, So the first cut that we're going to do is at 10.5 centimeters. Okay, so we'll just measure to 10.5, like so, and then cut. That's our first strip. Okay, then, so that's this piece here. Okay, then our next we're going to cut at 5 centimeters. I'm going to do 2 of those. Okay, so we'll trim at 5. And again at 5. Okay, so now we have, so if I pull back in the template, what we've now got is that piece, that piece, that piece, and what's left is this piece. Okay, so it's very easy just to do, they're your first cuts to do. Okay, so now we're going to take this piece, okay, and we're going to cut it 2 pieces at 14.5 centimeters. So that's 14.5 and 14.5, and this is waist. Okay, and then these 2 pieces we're going to cut on the diagonal. So what I want to do is I want to place my corners into the track of my trimmer here. Okay, so bear with me. Ooh, my phone is flashing. I think my signal is dropping in and out a little, so if it is, I do apologize. Okay, so that's that one, and then we're going to do the same with this one. So again, we've got one corner in the track, bring it down so you can see, we've got one corner in the track here, and then one corner in the track down here. All right, make sure that's it. Okay, all right, so now what that gives us, just 1 second. That gives us 4 triangles. Okay, so we're going to put those aside for a moment. Okay, now we're going to take our 5 centimeter strip and we're going to cut that into 14.5 centimeters. So that's 14.5, 14.5, and then we're going to do the same with this one here. Okay, so now we end up with pieces for 4 more cards. So that's 8 pieces altogether. Okay, and then we're going to bring in our final strip, and our final strip is going to make these pieces here. And what we want to cut is 12 2 centimeter strips all along here. Okay, so if I show you, I'm going to measure it to 2 centimeters on the right. Okay, I'm just going to cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Monica, you say, can you show what you do tonight, please? What do you mean? Have you missed a bit you want me to go over? So now we have 12 2 centimeter by 10.5 centimeter strips. And then, so that will give us 4 cards. So that's 12. And then we have 1 piece left, and that's for our 13th card. Okay, so that's it. That's our cutting done. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring back in the template and just line these pieces up so you can see what we've done. Okay, so here's our 12 pieces here, is our final piece here. That's our 13th card. Here are our 4 strips, like so. And then here are our 4 triangles. There we go. And there we go. Oops. There we have it. Okay. So like I said, I'll download a photograph of this template onto my blog, so you can see it. You can print it out and copy it for yourself. And once you've got the template, you can see that the cuts are really quite easy. Okay, so let's move these aside for 1 second. And I've already cut and scored my card bases, just plain Whisper White. And I'm using, for this one, I'm going to make thank you cards. Oh, hi Monica. We're doing a one sheet wonder. So you can, when this is finished, you can just rewatch the beginning again. I don't think you missed very much. Okay. So I'm going to use the big thank you stamp set, and I'm also going to use the coordinating die. So I've die cut a load of these. So I've done most of the prep work already for you. So I've got my, so you can also see how I would sort of mass produce cards. Okay. So we've got our pile of thank yous. And then I've also stamped the so much sentiment and also the a big sentiment. And I've stamped that in Night of Navy on a very thin sliver. And then I've just put some dimensionals on the back. So they're ready to go. So all we need to do now is our gluing and sticking. Okay, so let's start, do our bases first. Okay. So let's ungunk our glue. All right, and we bring in our card bases. Now I've kept the actual cards themselves very, very straightforward, because what I really wanted to do was to show you how the cutting works. But you could, if you wanted, mat and layer up these panels if you wished. Personally, I wouldn't bother. Or you could add more embellishments, okay, but I didn't really think you needed to see all of that. You can figure that bit out for yourselves. It's this bit that's the tricky bit. Okay, so I'm just, and you can see I'm not always necessarily sticking in the same way down. The cards don't all have to be identical. Okay, you can unleash your creativity once you've got your bits cut. Okay, so that's 3, and then the final one is 4. Now, this template that I'm using, I've worked out myself, but you know, there's all sorts of different templates out there, and obviously, oh, I've not stuck that properly. I work in centimeters. Hi, Susan, welcome. But if you prefer to work in inches, then there's lots and lots of templates out there. And in fact, if you look on my Pinterest board, Stampingjack on Pinterest, you'll find that I've got lots of one sheet wonder templates saved on there. So that's our first set of 4. Now for our next set of 4, we're just going to do these 4 strips. Okay, and they simply, I'm just going to put them down the side of the card, like so. And again, you could adjust exactly where you put those. You could put them landscape or portrait, whichever way you want. But I'm just going to keep it really, really simple. And again, you can use either side of the paper, whichever you prefer. I'm just keeping it easy peasy for the purpose of the exercise. And to be honest, you know, when you're mass producing cards, you don't really want to get too complicated on them, because you want to get through them. But really the time that one sheet wonders really come into their own is at Christmas time. So if you had some Christmas cards to make, this is a really quick and easy way to just get a load of them done and out of the way. Right, so that's 4 more, okay, just the strips. All right, then we're going to do this piece here, and that's just going to go in the center of our card front, like so. Okay, And now we're going to do our strips. So what we want is 3 strips for each card. Okay, I'm just going to lay them out. And all we're going to do is just glue them down. Now, what I like to do to help get them lined up is if I line the center one up where I want it, okay, then it's easier to space the 2 on the outside. Okay, again, I'm not being particularly precise about exact distances between these guys. I'm just lining it up by eye. Okay, and then do the next 3. The alternative method, if you want, which works just as well, it's purely a question of personal preference, is to line up the 2 outside ones. And this is where having wet glue really works well, because you've got that little bit of wiggle room to get these lined up exactly where you want them. And then you just line the center one up. Now I use this method when I've got more than 3 bits to line up, because it makes it much easier. Okay, so that's 3. Make sure my card bases are the right way around. Although I think for this particular layout it doesn't really matter. And of course, any of these particular layouts you can use even if you're not doing a one-sheet wonder. So, you know, this is a great little layout for scraps. We've all got tiny little scraps of stuff left over from cutting up our cards. And this is a really brilliant way of using them up. It doesn't have to be 3. It could be however many you've got. It could be a mixture of patterns, all depending on what you've got. Okay. Because the aim here basically is to get using our designer series paper. It's beautiful, but there's no point in leaving it in a box or in a cupboard, which, you know, I'm just as guilty as everybody else. I have my paper that I love it too much to cut it up. But, you know, it's there to be used. It's there to be cut up and put on cards and sent out to make people's days, to cheer people up. Because we all know how nice it is to get a card in the post, isn't it? Especially when you're not expecting. So there we go. Okay, so that's all of our card bases done. So we've got 4 of these, 4 of these, 4 of these, and this rogue one down here. Okay, so let's do this one first. So all I'm going to do is, and this is the slightly boring bit, because we're just going to pop some glue on each one of these. And there's various methods for doing this, but I just find this one the quickest. You don't need a lot of glue, you just need it spread around. If you put too much glue on there, all it's going to do is just ooze out, and you really don't want that. Okay, so just press it down, let it hold, and then I'm going to take in one of my sentiment pieces. See if I can get it off. Okay, I'm back again. Yes. Sorry about that. I warned you at the beginning my Wi-Fi is a little bit dodgy out here today. It's got to be the heat. Right, so that's first card done. Okay, now let's do these ones. So again, it's just a little bit of glue on the back. Now, like I said, I'm making these all the same. Okay, you don't have to do that if you're doing yours. You could make each one different. It's entirely up to you. Right, so for this one, I'm going to do a so much. Here we are. And where are we up to? Look at that, it's 25 past 8. How long have I been doing this for? 10, 15 minutes? Doesn't take long. And I love this thank you die. It's like our happy birthday thinlit die, and I use that all the time on cards. In fact, I made a card for my son for a birthday party he went to yesterday of a girl in his class who he really, really likes. He's in year 5 and he's liked this girl since they were in year 2. It's really quite sweet. He has it bad for her. We've had a few dates and he's had the big conversation with her where he's told her he loves her. Which is really quite sweet. But apparently she just wants to be friends. She doesn't want any boyfriend at the moment. So they're just friends. But he still carries a torch for her. So yes, it was her birthday yesterday. It's her birthday party. So I made a card for her. And of course it had to be something a little bit extra special. So I got the brief and away he went with it. But that's on my blog because it was actually for a blog hop challenge, the Creators Blog Hop, which I'm part of every month. It's a group of Stampin' Up! Demonstrators from around the world. And every month we have a theme or a challenge or whatever, and we all make cards based on that. And this month it was a sketch, so I combined that. And then I also used the colours from the this month's colour challenge on my Facebook group. So my VIP's Facebook group, we have a challenge every month. And this month the challenge is a colour challenge using Granny Apple Green, Lovely Lipstick and Mango Melody. I really, really like those colours together. So I combined 3 challenges into one, and that card is up on my blog. I'll post the link to it once I'm finished here. Right, so there we go. That's our 4 more cards. Next, we've got our strips. So as I said, this month we've got our designer series paper special offer. So buy 3 packs, get 1 free. So it's a great opportunity to stock up on your favourite designer series papers. So I know that a couple of you out there listening are demonstrators. And I know some of you I've sent the catalogue to already. So let me know, I'd love to know if you've got a favourite designer series paper from the catalogue this year. I still haven't figured it out yet. I love the Garden Impressions paper. I've used that quite a lot. I just love the bright colours of it. But, you know, I've had a delivery today of quite a lot of designer series papers, and I think I'm going to struggle to find a new favourite because they're just all beautiful. But I've promised myself that I will not hoard them. I will use them. So I think you can expect to see quite a bit of designer series paper on my upcoming projects. What I tend to find a lot of the time is that instead of having designer series paper, is that I create my own backgrounds. So I stamp my own backgrounds. So a lot of the time the paper kind of gets left out. There you go. But I'm really enjoying this particular pattern here. I think it's beautiful. Really soft. And that's the other thing to consider when choosing your pattern. Is that obviously I'm simply laying a die cut on top. So I've chosen a pattern that's not terribly busy or too bold. Otherwise the die would get lost against the background. So you might want to consider that depending on how you're going to decorate your card. If you're going to put a sentiment panel like a square with a layer behind it, then it doesn't really matter. Makes absolutely no difference. So there we go. And let's see. I hope I've got enough sentiments cut out. We'll see in a minute because we are nearly there. Oh, good. I was just about to say, are you guys still there? Because I hadn't seen any replies, any comments. So let's see, what have we got in terms of favourites? So Jenny, you like graceful glass. Yes, love a bit of vellum. Can't go wrong with vellum. And the Nature's Poem. Yes, I do love those. And I'm To me, they're a bit autumnal for how I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling very bright and summery. So I think as the seasons move, I might find myself pulling that one out a little bit more. Right, so there's our second 4 cards done. Okay, and now we're on to our final 4. There we go. I'm also about to send out the designer series paper shares and the ribbon shares for this year. So that's got a bit of been cutting and packaging, and they're just about ready to go. So that should be cool. In fact, I've got a couple of, I think I've got 1 extra ribbon share available. So if anybody would like one, let me know. There we go. Okay, and just a reminder to those of you who are joining, who weren't here at the beginning, please make sure to share this video to be entered into the draw next week to win the gold Wink of Stella brush, so you can make everything glitter that's gold. Monica, you have to take a look for the name. I know, it has taken me, I'm still not fully up to speed with the catalogue and the names of everything, and it's really thrown me that we've got lots of colours to remember, new colours to remember this year as well. So it does take a little while to familiarise myself with the catalogue. And then the pages that they're on, because of course everything's on a different page to what it was last year. It's such a big problem to have, isn't it? What am I complaining about? Okay, nearly there. Nearly there. Go. So I think those of you that have ordered from me or about going to order from me this month, I think you may find these cards going out to you as my next batch of customer thank yous. Because I've got quite a lot now. There's 2, 3, last one. Last one. Excellent. Whoop. Got a bit carried away with the glue. Dream of Sea. Oh, I know the one. I think it's probably called Tranquil Textures. I think I know the one, Monica. That is very lovely. It's got, yes, it's got lots of sort of sea wavy type green and blue patterns in it, hasn't it? It's very lovely. Okay. No, that's not properly stamped. Yeah, Jenny, I know exactly what you mean. And then we'll have new ones to remember. Hopefully it will be just the new ink colours. Although I am already panicking just a little bit about losing Lemon Lime Twist next year. I'm still not 100% sure what I'm going to do when that colour goes away, because it is my favourite colour. Right, so there we go. So we have 4, 8, 12, 13 cards. Ta-da! And all from 1 sheet of 12 by 12 paper. So there you go. That is a 1 sheet wonder using Twinkle Twinkle Designer Series paper and a big thank you stamp set with the coordinating thank you thinlet. So I hope you've enjoyed this. As I said, I will post the template onto my blog in the next little while, so you can download that. Ooh, hearts. Thank you, ladies. Make sure to share the video to be entered into the draw to win the Wink of Stella pen. And thank you all for joining me. I'll see you again next Monday night. Bye.